it's interesting. I think a lot of folks were introduced to Ayurvedic principles by individuals like Deepak Chopra, for example, who is also a traditional medical, not traditional, but allopathic medical doctor, as well as using Ayurvedic principles. Talk a little bit, if you will, if you can give us some examples, and I'll just tell you from my, again, very limited knowledge. We hear terms like doshas and different foods, which are all part of that. It's probably, I'm assuming it's also much more than that. But can you give us a little primer on the approach that Ayurveda takes and the kinds of tools it uses?
Okay. So, again, I'm going to make it simple because the words dosha, dhatu, and there are so many other things which might seem very alien to people who have not been into this knowledge. So, one of the basic fundamentals of Ayurveda says that our body is a microcosmos of the bigger cosmos which is around us. So the whole universe, the environment around us, everything what happens there also happens in our body. And our body is constituted also with the same 5 elements which are the base of the whole universe. So maybe you know the 5 elements. They are space, air, fire, water, and earth. And all of these elements, they constitute our body as well as the nature around us, because our body is part of this nature. Like a tree is part of this nature and it exists with the coexistence, human beings also are part of the nature and we exist with this coexistence. So we are part and parcel of the big cosmos, but there exists a small cosmos inside us. So based on this basic but very important fundamental, our body is known in Ayurveda to have been made from dosha, dhatu, mala, the digestive fire, and our mind and senses all together. So this is a constitution of all this material together, and that's why in Ayurveda we also talk about the psychological aspects always, the environmental aspects always, so that together this is a complete, a holistic, and a very interconnected system with the nature. Now, as you said, we hear about herbs, we hear about spices, there is food, nutrition, and everything is based on the same thing, that our body is nature, and if we consume nature, our body understands this, how to metabolize it, how to use it, how to make energy from this. So our body is programmed to do so. And that's why we can use food, which is our first and only nutrition that we put inside our body. So we can use this food to make energy, as we do, but we can also use food to heal ourselves, because the food becomes medicine when we know how to use it. That's why you hear of different kinds of spices, like you hear of curcuma, you hear of a lot of other things which are taken nowadays. They are also known as superfoods, anti-inflammatory
turmeric.
Foods. Yeah. Curcuma is turmeric. Sorry, we use curcuma. The name curcuma because I'm on the French side of Switzerland, so we call it curcuma.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So that's turmeric.
Okay.
Ssorry, I should say
Same
turmeric.
No worries.
Yeah.
And is it turmeric or is it turmeric?
Yeah.
Just as an aside, it's interesting that you talk about, us being a part of nature. And I think about that we have really divorced ourselves in a way from nature. We've really separated ourselves in a lot of ways. Do you find that that is the crux of some of the issues that we have with respect to our health?
Yes. This is very true, because we have our modern lifestyles which are going, which are not based on the health and longevity. Because if we want to live with our goal that we need very good health, like optimal performance of our body, and we want to take it longer, we need to have our lifestyle adjusted to the nature. Also our food. The more we go away from it, the more our body will suffer and use the energy to adapt. It is very interesting and important to know that our body is a self-healing machine. It's not only life, but it is programmed to heal itself. When we give it a right environment by respecting the natural laws, the biological clock, what happens, it helps to heal the body. But when we go against it because of our wishes, our styles, our busy life, sometimes we don't have choice, but we have to do it. Our body tries to adapt, but it loses energy. It loses its basic functions. Not that it doesn't work, but they are not the best. So you feel fatigue, you feel disturbances. Today we are going to talk a lot about women over 40
Yes.
and the hormonal disturbances. And as you rightly said, that's the root there. What is having this? That's why we have more and more problems for women.